This is Hannah Rolls, as usual, doing a late night talk on psychology because, hey, I like psychology trivia. Awesome. Tonight we're going to be talking about something that a lot of people seem to have issue understanding, and that's the actual definition of crazy. It's one thing to take risks. It's one thing to behave irresponsibly. It's another thing entirely to be mentally ill. There are 3 criteria that you have to meet. The first one is that it has to be socially abnormal and culturally abnormal for the area that you live in. There are places in the world where it's perfectly normal to have a conversation with Great Aunt Fanny even though she's been dead for 15 years. Those places are in South Central Africa, Central America, some places in India, and in the United States, maybe Taos, New Mexico, maybe. But, that's not, if someone in, say, Boston reported having a conversation with Great Aunt Fanny, they would be evaluated for their mental state, because it's not socially normal. Okay, so criteria 2 is that it causes you a certain amount of distress. You're aware that the way you're thinking or the way you're functioning doesn't work too well in the world you're in, and it makes you really uncomfortable. There's a host of reasons for this. I think the biggest one is that it has a lot to do with we have a drive as human beings to be socially accepted. We're herd animals by nature, so we kind of need that. But anyway, causes you some problems. For example, it's one thing to grieve over your mother. It's one thing to spend night after night after night sobbing, for maybe 2 or 3 weeks after you lose a parent. It's another thing entirely to be locked in your bedroom, curled up in your bed, in abject depression for a year. It doesn't make you feel good. You're aware that something's wrong. The third criteria is that it causes you a certain amount of impairment, and this is usually the biggest one. You can get away with being socially abnormal. You can get away with being distressed at your own behavior. But if the behavior or the situation causes impairment in your daily function in either some kind of occupational format, for example, either school or work, or if it causes you impairment in a social context, you got a problem. You need to address it. If you have all 3 of those elements, the abnormality, the distress, and the impairment, then you have a candidate for mental illness. So crazy is a scary place to be for a lot of people, and it happens to a lot more people than folks let on. Especially in the United States, there's a huge stigma against treating mental illness. I think that's stupid, and I think that the first line of defense against that is being aware of what actually constitutes being mentally ill, and those 3 criteria are it. Okay? Anyway, thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. If you feel like random psychology trivia, I'm going to be up late at night, often as not, here for the next few weeks, and I'm kind of bored, and I like talking about psychology. If you need a study aid, hit me up. Feel free to subscribe. Thanks.